This lineup, including De La Torre in goal. A good defensive backfield, including center backs Hazane Torres and Roshane Baker, and the twins at outside backs in the Kamath brothers. Meanwhile, for the SMU Mustangs, Kevin Hudson now turning to a one-forward lineup, a lot like what they did last season. Gives them a lot of versatility through the midfield. Soren Russell still in goal for SMU, picking up his first shutout in his SMU career. Last time out, a win over Grand Canyon on the road in Phoenix. Had to make a couple solid saves in that one. SMU's back line has not been tested much, though, this season, as the Mustangs have not given up many shots over the course of the season. And in fact, last year in a 2-0 win over UIW here at home, SMU gave up no shots, out shooting UIW 17-0. I'm John Little alongside Steve Lansdale. Steve, what are you looking for early in this contest to figure out who has the advantage?
Well, part of it is simply the Mustangs adjusting to the one forward lineup and seeing where the space is in the UIW defense, trying to find those holes either where they can get crosses or get passing lanes through to teammates.
One thing UIW has not done a lot of this season, although they have 3 shutouts, is they haven't scored a lot. They've got 4 total goals in 5 matches. That's something that's got to come up for Kiki Lara's team as they go throughout the season.
Right, and he will always prioritize defense. As he says, that is our DNA. That is what he teaches day one when these guys walk on campus, and he recruits players who believe in that concept. Every coach has always said to a team, if the other guys don't score, we cannot lose. And that certainly applies for the Cardinals. Obviously, they want to crank up their offense and start creating more shots and more goals, but they are a defense-first team, and they play it well.
Cheeky little pass, nipped up by Hickam in the direction of Lopez, who moves from a forward role to a midfield spot. Danny Escorcia, we highlighted him before the game. Serves a long run for Pinozo, and a good job on that left outside back side for Arush Kamath to slide it into touch. Be a long throw in for Enzo Pinozo, but something he is gifted at.
He is. Pinozo is a big, strong guy, and yes, he can throw it a long way. And he's managed to find that one little spot in the offensive third where he's not staring right into the sun behind us on the west side of the field.
It's a gorgeous night, low 80s. Good throw into the 6. And a corner on the way for SMU. SMU actually got out-cornered at GCU. Or nearly did, I should say. Only had 3 corners for the game and were out-cornered in the second half of that one. 2-0. Danny Escorcia to serve this one. Why not give it to the guy who has assists in 3 straight?
Yeah, he's a very, very clever passer and a very technically sound player. He can do a lot of different things when striking a ball like this.
Several 6-footers in the box and waiting. Escorcia, the low liner, knocked into the air, still alive and cleared away by one of the Kamaths, but it comes right back to Pinozo, who gives it a ride over the bar from 35 yards out.
Yeah, Pinozo showing off the strength in that right leg. He knocks it down and then picks it out of the air. And again, we talk about this with some frequency. When you catch it on a short hop like that, if you hit it on frame, it looks beautiful because it often finds the back of the net. But because the ball is bouncing up, if you miss your target spot on the ball by even a fraction of an inch, you can airmail one, and he sent it halfway to the parking garage.
Alejandro De La Torre. What a start to the season for this young man. Well, young in quotations, young to some. He graduated high school in 2017, and what a story he is. Took a gap year and then went to Tyler Junior College as the 5th keeper on that squad at Tyler JC. But showed a little something, and UIW took a chance. He thought he might be in line to start, but had to sit behind a guy that started for 2 more years, including a COVID year that starter had. Hung around, finally got a chance to start last year, and then another NCAA ruling that gave him 1 more year, and that's why Alejandro De La Torre is still between the pipes for UIW.
But you pointed out that we can call him a young guy, but only if we put young in quotes. The freshmen who were playing in this game were in 6th grade when he got to college.
My goodness. Nice stop of the advance there by SMU as Evan Kranzel, the freshman from Las Cruces, New Mexico, has it nipped away. And Flores runs onto it right along the touchline. Luis Flores marching toward the 18, tries to lead Lopez. However, Roshane Baker is back with a half clearance to midfield.
When we talked to Kiki Lara in advance of this game, we asked him about SMU players and which ones jumped out at him, and the first name he said was Luis Flores. He is well aware of Flores's accomplishments at Oral Roberts, and he knows the kind of skill that he has, that he brings to the Mustangs, having transferred to SMU this year. They are well aware, a defense-minded team is well aware of where number 25 is and what he can do.
Flores has come off the bench a couple straight games, and we'll certainly see Mukisa Emmanuel a little bit later on as there's a foul from behind on UIW. And this one going against Paco Segura, the sixth-year graduate, the heartbeat of that UIW team. SMU chooses for the quick restart about 5 minutes into the match.
Segura is another nice story for the Cardinals. He's overcome some significant knee injuries. And as his coach said, when you get a guy like this back in the lineup, it goes beyond what he can do on the field, how hard he can shoot and how fast he runs. As his coach described it, you're getting a guy who lives and breathes this program. He is a Cardinal through and through, and he's been a wonderful, I don't know if you can call him an addition, but a re-addition to this lineup.
Every single time that he's been able to come back. Kevin Hudson presiding over the proceedings tonight for SMU. A gorgeous night. A little bit of a breeze as well today. Crisscrossing the field from the far side to the near. This will run into touch and an SMU throw.
We've had a nice little stretch of a couple games here where it just doesn't feel like early September in Dallas, Texas. We've called plenty of games in the past which were 95 to 100 degrees at this time of year. I'll take this every time.
We've probably had hydration breaks in October, but right now, early September, you're looking at 79 degrees at game time. Just wonderful. And again, a foul as Pinozo ends up on the deck. UIW, not a team that fouls a ton, less than 6 fouls a match. That is the third least in the nation at this point through their 5 matches.
And if you can be a stingy defensive team without drawing a lot of whistles, that's more about the positional and tactical defense rather than taking people down. That's an indication of some really good coaching on the defensive end.
Good feed by Soren Russell to get it up the wing, and SMU has a chance to operate. There's Owen Zarnik wearing the captain's armband, finds Danny Escorcia left side. Escorcia marching back to the middle, missed the first 2 matches of the year, one because of a yellow card, his 5th yellow at the end of last season, and one because of a red he procured in the same match. Escorcia, creative and free-flowing, off to a guy that will improvise equally in Brunet. Little touch by Flores, inadvertent handball, SMU, Pinozo, down low, Lopez lets it drift through, and on the backside, coming in for a shot for SMU is Vlad Landsberg joining the attack after Pinozo pinched down as well. Lots of defenders for the Mustangs getting into the action.
You see Brunet with a quick one-touch pass out wide to Pinozo, and he ran that pass through Flores and through Escorcia, and Vlad Landsberg with the shot that bangs off of 2 defenders. A little bit chaotic on the back end for the Cardinals, but they were under siege for a little bit there, and I think they're more than willing to give up a corner.
You can see Alejandro De La Torre fighting the sun just a little bit. Few more minutes for him to do so as Emile Brunet brings it in short, and it's easily pounded onto the track by Avanish Kamath. Get a look at some of the back line and that center holding mid, Gio Padilla, who was a center back last season for UIW. So he's used to defending this season, thriving in the midfield. Pinozo's long throw, kept alive, near Escorcia. He was pulled back for a second. Escorcia turns the corner, chips it back post, and it's over the top. Escorcia with a nice duel between he and Paco Segura in the box.
Yeah, the veteran Segura with a little bit of gamesmanship. He got a fistful of Escorcia's jersey, which slowed him down just enough that he couldn't turn and really drive toward the net. But he still gets a cross away. And on the corner kick a moment ago, it's a little surprising maybe that Brunet didn't try a higher serve in the last few minutes here, that he would have had the sun behind him and maybe you could get De La Torre to lose the ball in the sun, but instead he took a lower line drive, and as you said, there's only going to be a few minutes left where the sun will be an impact on this coming over the stands behind us.
We lose 90 seconds of sunlight every day here in the fall before finally, you know, at 7 o'clock, it's not going to be in a position where it would affect the game. This one goes over the top and De La Torre can handle. Ten minutes gone. For UIW, coming in at 2-2-1. This is their first road match of the season. Beat Pacific in a season opener. Lost to Drake 2-1. Gonzaga took a 1-0 decision from UIW. Followed that up with a scoreless draw with UMass Lowell. Here's a takeaway. The chip out in front. An opportunity. Turning, shooting, and denied by Soren Russell is Paco Segura. Segura's shot right at the post. We'll see if it was going to find the back of the net if it came through. But in any event, UIW coming off of a win over Our Lady of the Lake and breaking a scoreless string over their last two.
That was the best angle there on that last replay, and I think the ball looked like it was probably going to go about a foot wide, but Soren Russell certainly right to make sure and eliminate any doubt. He stretched that 6'4" frame out and got a hand on it and kept it in bounds without giving away the corner.
Escorcia turns middle for SMU, drawing 3-4 defenders, plays it through. De La Torre picks it up with the big mid. De La Torre tied for 10th in the nation in shutouts right now with 3 in the first 5 matches of the season. And thankfully he has been keeping the ball out. And it's not just that he hasn't been facing shots. His save percentage is outstanding as well, 88.5% so far.
Yeah, I mean, as we said, obviously he's a big, strong guy who can, just by standing still, he can reach out and cover a lot of the net. As you see Escorcia trying to spin around a defender, Arush Kamath, and taken down to draw the whistle. De La Torre covers a lot of the net, right? We can all see that. But he's quicker than you expect for a big guy. And he gets down on the ground better than you expect for a big guy. He's a more complete goalkeeper. Sometimes you'll see a team that sticks the biggest guy they can find in the net, and it doesn't always work out so well because he's, you know, the positioning and seeing the game isn't at a high level. That's not the case with De La Torre.
Yeah, why not a sumo wrestler, right?
Sure.
That's always been the hockey novices argument.
Right, exactly. Find the biggest kid in school, put him up, prop him up on skates, and see what you can get. And with a hockey goal, that may work once in a while.
Not here, though, as Lopez chips it in the direction, or of Lopez, I should say. It was in the direction of Flores, Lopez to Flores, and headed away. SMU having success possessing the ball, though, sending balls into the box. Just that last connection hasn't been there so far, but it bodes well for future success for the Mustangs.
Yeah, the field has been tilted certainly in the Mustangs' favor. They're trying to work some wall passes like we saw Flores right there to zigzag their way through this defense, because right now the Cardinals are sitting pretty deep. They're playing 3 across the back, but they're really sitting back 2 defensive midfielders.
Watch out for Segura. Save. Another one by Russell. But that one is in. And it had to be a shot by UIW's Bryce Tober, because he had a man in an offside position. However, it never hit him as this counterattack by the Cardinals comes up aces.
And that plays exactly into what we were just talking about. When the Cardinals sitting deep, their offensive plan, includes counterattacks in order to generate threats, and they executed it perfectly there. The first shot turned away nicely by Soren Russell, but you can't give up a rebound when there's multiple opposing jerseys in the area. Obviously, he didn't try to give up the rebound, but that one happened to go right to the shooter.
Much to the chagrin of Kevin Hudson, who had seen his team, we were just talking about it, dominating possession. Soren Russell attacked by Paco Segura. Made two very nice saves, but not able to completely eliminate the threat. And Bryce Tober, in turn, puts it in the goal to make it 1-0 UIW. Only the second goal that UIW has scored against SMU all time. The total line score 14-1. Overlapping run and a quick shot by Enzo Pinozzo. Rocketed away for a corner kick. So Scorsia finds him running in on the right side.
Arush Kamath with another nice play. He's been racing with Enzo Pinozzo up and down that far touchline a couple of times already in the early going tonight. And he's had two really nice plays to turn away potential crosses.
Here's the serve by Emile Brunet. A chance. The sidewinding shot over the top by Owen Zarnik. He had an opportunity with the left foot to equalize.
Nice high corner here. Curling ball from Brunet, and Starnes and Pinozzo battled for a header, and it bounced right back to their defender, Owen Zarnik. It's hard enough to do that sidewinding kick, but that was also with his off leg. He's traditionally a right-footed or a right-dominated player. Very difficult shot, and he didn't miss it by a whole lot.
SMU winning not only the first, but the second ball off that corner. Determined to try to come up with a quick equalizer after the UIW strike in the 14th minute. Congratulations to Bryce Tober, the San Antonio kid, the hometown boy from Piper High School. His first goal of his UIW career, and it comes in a really big spot against SMU's Soren Russell, who won the goalkeeper position battle in the offseason.
When you have a history between teams like this, that not only has SMU won every game, but given up only one goal previous to this. As you see,
Martin Dominguez.
Yeah, you see Martin Dominguez, the Mustangs' primary goalkeeper. He gives Kevin Hudson and his staff a really nice option by having two guys they're very confident in. He's up and stretching and warming a little bit. That doesn't necessarily mean he's coming in, but he's getting ready in case he's called upon.
Dominguez came in a similar position last season, taking over the starting job, one which he never relinquished, and had a marvelous year for a team that made it all the way to the Elite Eight. SMU with some space on that right side. They're feeding Pinozzo again, and now here's Luis Flores trying to turn the corner against Segura. Pulls him back. Flores onto the left foot. His drive is bashed away. But again, SMU getting where they want. Thankfully for the Cardinals, they were packed in defensively.
Nice defensive job by the Cardinals, who know that Flores is a left-footed player, and he started leaking over toward his left, and two black jerseys moved with him all the way, staying in front of that left leg. They knew he wanted to shoot with that leg. He did, and they were able to snuff it out.
Here's Jalen Mitchell, been so dangerous this year, pops it in, and just out in front of the advancing Milton Lopez. De La Torre falls all over it.
Mitchell with a quick crossover freezes the defender for just a minute, and he's trying to connect with Milton Lopez, but that ball's a little too tall, and when there's a tall ball, my money's on De La Torre every time.
Not many that he cannot reach.
On paper, he's only 5 inches taller than Milton Lopez, but when to the naked eye looking out on the field, he just towers over everybody.
Mitchell running after it. SMU has been good in the press this season. And it forces a quick pass by Roshane Baker, one that's intercepted by Zarnik, and SMU quickly back the other way. Mitchell inside to Escorcia, drawing two defenders. Finds Landsberg, playing against the wall to Brunet. Escorcia again. Escorcia trying for the pirouette. Great job to stay with him. Gets stuck in by Noe Robles to take it away. Robles, the transfer from Tyler Junior College. His brother, Juan, actually played here at SMU back in the early 2010s, 2010 to 2012. He was a reserve keeper for SMU.
Makes you wonder a little where Juan's allegiance is tonight. You know, his alma mater versus his brother. I'm assuming blood is, let's see, not thicker than water. Blood is thicker than school.
You'd assume so. Another winner by SMU and a chance for Emile Brunet. Looking inside, turned back. But SMU has waves of midfielders. Now Landsberg from his left back position joining the attack. Here's Mitchell, creative from the left wing. Chips it in front and again eliminated by Alejandro de la Torre with some soft hands.
Second time in a couple minutes where you see Jalen Mitchell with a couple of step overs to try to just freeze the defender a little bit and get enough room for a cross, which he did. But the Mustangs need to bring more numbers into the box to get onto the end of those, because giving De La Torre a clear view of it and no traffic in front of him, it's almost like a fair catch.
John Little with Steve Lansdale and our whole crew here from the ACC network. Again, Mitchell gets a feed from Escorcia. Dancing, trying to feed it in the direction of Lopez. Escorcia is going to take it right back. Chip it to the backside in the direction of the onrushing Pinozo. But it is taken away by Arush Kamath. And UIW's quick advance toward the goal started with Paco Segura gobbling up a lot of space. He just wasn't able to quite race out the same way this time. UIW staked to a lead. Now trying to get on the possession attack for the first time. They've been a fairly high possession team this season. Top 30% in the country in passes per game. But SMU is a team that is top 5% in that respect. But again, they're stringing it together. Kamath out right. Fires it up top. And a chance walking in. Robles out wide. The cross by Tober. Knocked back. Lopez gets into it and is called for the foul. Pulling back. Noe Robles on the play, and a chance at a set piece for UIW in a really nice spot.
Yeah, we're going to see the cross into the middle here that gets punched away by Slade Starnes, and then it's really just two people in the exact same spot vying for the ball, and they got tangled up. Robles hit the deck, and Lopez drew the whistle.
Early test for Soren Russell and his defense. Another one. The take is right into Landsberg, but picked right back up by Robles. Robles runs into Landsberg, tries to pound it off of Robles, and does just that. Nice job by Landsberg.
And there's a lot to unpack there. First, he jumps up and blocks the kick. Then he spins around and chases the ball down, and now he's staring at two black jerseys, and he's able to spin away from them, and it was going to be very difficult to clear the ball upfield, but he found Robles right in front of him, and I don't think that was an accident that he banged it off his thigh and out of bounds.
No, not at all.
That was intentional all the way to get the throw in, just to allow the Mustangs to get out of jail. Nice play by Viladz Landsberg.
First steady possession by UIW. Ended up in a set piece. Nothing more to show. Escorcia running in behind. Escorcia, the quick turn and the deflected cross. Another corner on the way for SMU.
Nice little burst of acceleration there by Escorcia. You see the quick forward pass by Panozzo, and Escorcia hits the Jets, and if he had taken 2 touches, he never would have even been able to turn. But by turning and trying to one-touch that, he almost got it into the middle, but a nice sliding clearance, surrendering the corner, but not the shot on goal.
4th corner for the Mustangs. They had 5 in the whole match last year against UIW. This time it's Luis Flores taking. Flores drives it near post, header to the back post, and Lopez is not able to slide to it. Really nice effort for SMU, getting a head on it in the air.
A beautiful chance here. It was Owen Zarnik, the Mustangs 6'4" defender, who goes up. Obviously, with a player of his size and leaping ability, he's going to be one of the targets, and he's very strong in the air. He sort of hit that with the back of his head. It almost rolled off the back and almost found the back post, or an assist for a teammate coming in at the back post. Just a little too much pace on that, allowing the Cardinals to regroup.
5 shots aside. None of SMU's shots have been on frame. 3 have been for UIW. 2 saves for Soren Russell, and a goal as Bryce Tober opened his account in the 14th minute. Soren Russell's numbers on the year: 3-1-1. The goals against average right at 1. Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference goalkeeper of the year last season for Division II UC Colorado Springs. 20 minutes left in the first half. UIW staked to a lead. SMU has had some opportunities, but not been able to do anything with it. Takedown, and this one by Gio Padilla. Flores goes to the turf.
And this is really unfamiliar territory for this series, for the Cardinals to be in the lead. And every coach talks about how the response to any goal is often as important as the goal itself, or almost as important as any goal itself. So how do the Mustangs respond? Do they stay within their systems? Do they make any schematic changes? Do the Cardinals sit deeper to try to protect this lead?
Kranzel knocked down by another freshman in Landon Hickam. Hickam had visions of getting stuck in to keep a play alive like he did earlier this season in the victory over LMU. As SMU prepares to make some substitutions, one at the striker position and one at the attacking mid. Sagamonian comes in for Milton Lopez at the midfield spot. And the new target man, instead of Flores, will be number 20, Mukisa Emmanuel, who has 2 goals this season, including a game winner.
You mentioned the teams have 5 shots and 4 for UIW and SMU respectively, including 3 shots on goal by the Cardinals. Compare that to last year.
17-0.
0 shots for Incarnate Word. So to say this is a better offensive performance is an understatement. Terrific start for the night for the Cardinals.
Became a better offensive performance on 1 rush up the field. Everything else is just icing on the cake. De La Torre with a chance to control the pace. Mukisa Emmanuel has had enough of it. Strong throw to the edge, but not held on that left side by Kamath. 7th meeting all time. SMU has been perfect and outscored UIW 14-1 before that initial goal. SMU winning on the 16th of September last year. 2-0. Goals by Neve Berkovitz, and then a penalty by Bailey Sparks. One of his 6 penalties in his senior season for SMU. Escorcia quickly inside to Emmanuel. Tried to bang it off of a defender and thought he had induced a handball.
And he's right. He absolutely played this off the Cardinal defender. Here you see the quick pass to Emmanuel, and he flips it up, and it hits the arm of Josane Torres. And all of those volunteer referees wearing red uniforms tried to help make that call. But it's the guy in the highlighter yellow whose opinion mattered, and he viewed it as an inadvertent handball, and he let play go on.
Great slide tackle by Pinozo to keep play alive. After a couple more touches, SMU back in possession, looking to equalize after the 14th minute goal by UIW. The Cardinals in their first road game of the season is the give and go. The bang bang up the wall doesn't quite connect for SMU. Cardinals looking to start their road schedule off in style. Last season away from San Antonio, they were 3-3-2 under Kiki Lauda, the former star for UIW back when they were a Division II program. Three-time All-American in San Antonio, a three-time Heartland Conference MVP as well.
Yeah, Coach Lara was a fantastic player. And this is one of those games that you may see as much intensity on the bench as any, because both coaches are coaching the alma maters at which they played. So these guys, obviously they're professionals, they do their job as any coach would. But these guys have, gotten out on the field and put their hours of sweat and tears into it as well.
Foul by Tober as Mitchell slow to get up. Fifth foul already on UIW, a team that only averages 6 fouls a match. SMU preparing to make some changes. So is UIW. Got Celo de Poco in for the first time. Talented striker or attacker. SMU will have some more come in the next opportunity as well. Assistant coach Michael King talking about it. This one inside for Emmanuel, and coming out just in time, De La Torre to force a corner. But there is a collision between De La Torre, the big man, and Mukisa Emmanuel, who isn't tall but is stout.
He is stout and he is very fast. And we've talked before at games about how he can run through some traffic in an opposing defense. That's a pretty heavyweight collision.
It is.
And fortunately, Mukisa Emmanuel is up, and fortunately for the Cardinals, De La Torre is up. You see him wincing a little bit.
Scorsia, Pinozo, and Mitchell out. Here's the serve from the corner, headed back up top. Half volley opportunity, tipped back out. Hickam thought that it banged off of a UIW player, but the call does not go in his favor.
He was certainly pleading his case, and it looked like the official was almost listening to him for a second and then pointed toward the goal area, the penalty kick area.
Thought I heard a deflection, but yeah,
it absolutely.
Yeah,
I think it may have hit Owen Zarnick.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
In fact, on that replay, I'm not sure it didn't hit two people, and even on the replay, it was going fast enough that it was hard to tell who got hit first, or more importantly, who got hit last.
Exactly. De La Torre's distribution a little bit wide. Coming in for SMU, Ryan Clinton Pimentel to play the right wing back spot, and Matthias Dick playing the left wing back position. And also in for the first time in a while is Freddie Skillberg for SMU, the senior Swede. Only got on the field for 3 games last year. Long run for the hard-charging Clinton Pimentel, and not able to keep it in.
Yeah, for Kevin Hudson and his staff, that's got to be such a nice feeling to see Frederick Skillberg get it back out there. This is a guy who made an impact for the Mustangs starting right out of the gate as a freshman 3 years ago. And for the last year, he's been battling some injuries. But when he's out there, he is a very talented, very gifted player. He's got a lot of speed. He accelerates quickly. He's very clever, and he can attack a defender 1v1 from a number of different angles. And he's got a pretty nice shot. He adds an extra element to this offense. And on a night like tonight, when the Mustangs are trying to mix and match and find a combination that works, you know, maybe Frederick Skillberg will be part of that combination.
He's had some good years here at SMU, had 7 goals in his freshman campaign of 2022, including a hat trick against Temple. Followed that up with a goal and an assist in his sophomore campaign, where he was fighting through injury, and then last year almost completely lost to injury. It's Matthias Dick, tries to cross it in, and that one ends up in a corner for SMU, as the English on that ball will give SMU a corner opportunity.
There's Freddie Skillberg, and when he came onto the field, he had a pretty big smile on his face. And when you have to sit out a year, basically a year, trying to sort your way through some injuries, just getting back out into a game has to feel so good.
Our central official, Mark Buda, does not want anyone's opinion except for mine right now. I've said that to my kids a million times in my life.
Does it work?
You know, just depends on
the day.
If you choose to use the stick at the right time, you bet. As the floating serve by Sagamonian again is eliminated by the towering De La Torre.
We talked earlier about the option of playing a high ball because of the sun that was shining toward the goal early on in the game. But without the advantage of the sun behind you, I don't know that I would go to a high ball when you've got someone as big as De La Torre. Yes, he's 6'4", and the Mustangs certainly have big targets they can roll up in Owen Zarnik and Slade Starnes and people like that. But De La Torre is 6'4", and he can use his arms, so he's going to win those high balls pretty much every time. And if he has a clear view at a high floater like that, he's going to win.
Oh, it's a big takeaway for Celo de Poco. Very dangerous, but sliding up to it to take it away as the central center back and Slade Starnes, the middle of the three, back for SMU, and the Mustangs try a quick counter. Freddie Skillberg wants it on the ground, but Bronet didn't see him. Now Dick inside, Emmanuel back to Matthias Dick, lining it up from the near sideline. All 10 across midfield for SMU, pressuring in, looking for the equalizer. Landon Hickam in the direction of Skillberg, but it is denied. And maybe UIW can get a counter. Up the field to Diego Robles. Turns and looks, a deflected ball lands at the feet of his teammate. Here comes Segura. And the corner is on the way for UIW as Owen Zarnik cuts off Segura on the play. First corner for UIW. They didn't have one last season against SMU. And it will be the freshman, New Mexico Gatorade Player of the Year in 2025, Evan Kranzel. See UIW, 5 shots allowed already. Not a full clearance for the Mustangs. Now Emmanuel trying to race to it, but Rashane Baker able to head him off. The center back for UIW trying to cross it in. What a play by Diego Robles. Robles on the cross. And that one is slipped away by Starnes. And Emmanuel has it back for SMU.
Beautiful play by Robles. It looked like he was going to step on the ball and pull it back behind him, but he only pulled it halfway and then froze it again, and that sent Emmanuel sailing right past him. Gorgeous little stutter move by Diego Robles.
SMU with a single goal last time out. Came on a cross from Danny Escorcia as he hit Milton Lopez, the target. Was able to put it in the center of the penalty area in the air. Both those players out as SMU looks for an equalizer here. Dick with a low line drive, skimmer in, a worm burner on Alejandro De La Torre, who again is able to get down, not get chancy with it.
Worm burner is right, and sometimes if you can play it and get a little bit of a short hop, you can sort of tie up the goalkeeper, but De La Torre, as you said, got all the way down, so even if he didn't field it cleanly, He had that big body behind it. That was not going in anywhere.
The pressure for SMU results in a takeaway. Brunet out to Freddie Skillberg. Skillberg at the angle, the left-footed serve. Not straight up into the air by Baker. Still rolling around. Emmanuel ends up on the ground. And the twisting ball falls right to De La Torre. He and Baker combined to eliminate the chance.
Yeah, Emmanuel ended up on the ground. You can see him creeping up behind Baker, and then he gets shoved into De La Torre. It wasn't the most egregious shove by Baker, but there was a brick wall behind him. When you get tossed into a wall, chances are you're going to hit the deck.
A lot of times those offensive players, if they feel contact and they don't have the ball on them, most likely they're going to go down in that situation anyway. Try to induce some kind of call. Another opportunity for the creative Diego Robles. Setting things up, backdoor pass, and a great one to Segura. Segura tries to cross it, and Clinton Pimentel knocks it over the end line for a corner kick.
This game is a far cry from the matchup between these two teams a year ago when the Mustangs came out on top in a 2-0 game. But the entire game last year was played in front of De La Torre and the UIW net. Cardinals have come out and represented themselves very well through 40 minutes. They have a 1-goal lead, and they're spending a lot of time now in front of the SMU net.
Kranzel stepping down the line, back out to Segura, able to run onto it and skies it over the goal. Goal kick for SMU. But a good chance with some space in the box for the Cardinals.
A couple of the Cardinals lobbying for another corner kick there, claiming it had deflected off of one of the Mustangs, or a throw-in, I mean, but no such luck on the call by the official.
Lots of air on that one from Paco Segura. Kiki Lara sees his team take it away. Slide tackle made by Starnes. He has made some brave plays in the tackle, in the air, and otherwise so far defensively for SMU.
I think this has been one of Starnes' best performances of the year, being a little more aggressive, stepping up on plays exactly like that one.
DePoco drives it in. Starnes blocks the shot, but it stays alive for the Cardinals. Chance to get some action on the edge with 4 minutes left in the half, and UIW almost getting better as the half goes on. But this steal springs Emmanuel, at least for now. SMU gets it back centrally and looks to reverse the feed. Doing so to Landsberg, nipping it up in the direction of Dick. Matthias Dick. SMU looking for a spot to be dangerous.
Mustangs being patient, sort of playing keep away here for a minute. The idea being to spread out this UIW team laterally, but Cardinals doing a nice job of maintaining their compact structure and not really opening up any of those passing lanes that the Mustangs are trying to create.
Either a foul or a handball right in the middle of the field. And it goes on Trust Chagide. SMU quickly restarts it. Ball in the direction of Emmanuel. Headed back out. Kept back in. On the ground for Emmanuel. Can't crank it off. Hickam recovers. Emmanuel's still down. Slip to Skillberg. Skillberg dancing through defenders. On to Emmanuel. Skillberg after it. De La Torre races to the ball.
Nice quick play by De La Torre to race off his line and swallow that up. But really nice little work here by Freddie Skillberg. Cuts away from 1, 2, 3 defenders and then gets the overlap from Emmanuel. Tries to run onto it, and if he had another step, he might have gotten there. And then showing his senior wisdom, when he saw De La Torre rolling out toward the ball, Freddie Skillberg tested out his vertical leap to make sure there was no collision there.
Robles with the winner. SMU Starnes able to win it back. Mustangs 2 minutes left in the half. The ball at their feet, a 1-0 lead, a possession advantage, but Cardinals on the board first tonight, trying to make it to halftime with the advantage. Emmanuel out in front, ball for Soccer, cut off by Roshane Baker. Looks to turn. Baker, little delay, and Matthias Dick able to take it away. A reverse all the way across the field. Clinton Pimentel slides it down. Skilbert, one-timer. De La Torre, the save. Another stop, saving it off the line. A chance for Emile Brunet to equalize, but a defender was there. It was Hazane Torres saving the day.
Beautiful back save by Torres. As you said, the rebound came out to Charles-Emile Brunet. He had 90% of the net wide open, and Torres was in the right place at the right time and kept his team in the lead. Fantastic play by Torres.
Threatening moments for SMU, nothing to show for it. De La Torre and that wall that has come up with 3 shutouts in 5 matches, keeping SMU scoreless for now.
And Kiki Lara talked on the phone with us earlier this week about how, sure, De La Torre is a big, strong, very talented goalkeeper, but every goalkeeper is only as good as the defense in front of it. Cardinals defense has come up big for him several times tonight.
SMU's 7th corner will be one of the final plays of the first half. Stepan Sagamonian lines it up in the near corner. He'll be driving it into the breeze. SMU sets up in front of the goal with 14 seconds toward the back post, and it sails over the top. And that will do it for the first half. UIW getting one big rush, and coming up with the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, an opener for Bryce Tober. And the UIW Cardinals to take the advantage in Dallas over SMU at the end of the first 45 minutes. Incarnate Word trying to do something the program has never done. March into Dallas and pick up a win. And the boys from the starting the second half, it's a different lineup for SMU. Mukisa Emmanuel is up front as the target player. And right next to him, wearing number 6, the captain's armband on his left shoulder, or his left bicep, that is Alex Salvo, holding midfielder for SMU, who has missed the last 3 matches with an injury. And we thought that he might get a chance to get back on the field. And Salvo doing so. He has been so good for SMU the last few seasons, and certainly is a calming influence defensively when he's on the field for the Mustangs.
That's calming influence is a great description of Alex Salvo. He's a very, very cerebral player, and he reads the game in front of him very well, and he just seems to be that guy who always makes the right decision. He's not the flashiest player in the world, but he's a good passer. He's a good shooter if he needs to be. He defends well, and he's one of those relentless, high-effort guys who goes box to box and does all the dirty work in the middle portion of the field that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, and Kevin Hudson and his staff wouldn't give up Alex Salvo for anything in the world.
You can see he's playing that deepest 6 with Emile Brunet playing the 8 spot. And here comes Escorcia with a good pass to him. Escorcia drives it in. Big rebound, but it is cleared away. Alejandro De La Torre got enough of it to punch it out of harm's way.
Yeah, nice rip by Escorcia. A little too close to the middle of the goal. There was a little bit of space on either side, but it was hard enough just to get the shot off, as he had a bigger defender leaning on him, and obviously can throw off your balance.
Let's look at the shot.
Here you see him closing in on the top of the box.
As Escorcia ended up with a drive toward the goal that was punched away by De La Torre. But a scoring chance for SMU right off the bat in the second half.
Yeah, and that would be obviously an enormous lift for the Mustangs. Not only would it represent the equalizer, but if they could come out of the locker room at the intermission and get a goal in the early few minutes here, what a boost of confidence and that would be. And then it would, again, we talked about how the teams responded after UIW's goal. If SMU can get one fairly early, then you've got to watch again how each team responds.
Flores playing a attacking mid spot off to Mitchell, and Mitchell trying to draw a foul right at the edge of the box. It's cleared out Landsberg re-enters it to Charles-Emile Brunet as SMU holds possession with the 1-0 disadvantage. Zarnik rolling it forward. Emmanuel back to the goal. Right back to Zarnik. Zarnik chipping his way in. Flores holding it up to Emmanuel. Off to Jalen Mitchell. Mitchell tees it up and cranks it out. A corner kick for SMU. Arush Kamath was the last to touch it.
A first-time strike there by Mitchell might have gotten through toward De La Torre in front of the goal, but just that second touch allowed Kamath to get there and stretch out in front of it. Probably didn't feel too good, but he did his job and turned away a scoring chance.
It was Avanish rather than Arush, but the ball into the box, and Flores somehow did not get it to go home, but it goes right back to Charles-Emile Brunet, stepping down the line. Emile Brunet with a full pirouette inside, and it's poked out by Trustchigide for a throw-in for SMU as Mustangs keep the pressure on. You saw where the ball went out and where Brunet threw it in from. He just wants to keep the pressure on right now. Flores in the air. Emmanuel settles it down. Looks to touch it off. Plays it out wide. Pinozo stepping on it, trying to get creative. Pinozo trying to take the line. Pinozo shouldering off the defender. Sees a cutting salvo. His shot is blocked, and Trustchigide is fired up as he blocks another one and springs Paco Segura. But a brave play is made by Vlad Landsberg once and twice with 2 slide tackles to give it back to the Mustangs.
Brave is the perfect word there, because on both of those, if he slides into that ball and misses, then there's nothing but open real estate between the ball and the SMU goal. Then it's a 50-yard race towards Soren Wrestle, but Vlad Landsberg comes up big twice in about 10 seconds.
In this match, we've already seen some spirited moments, but the intensity is heightened here, it feels, between these two teams. UIW obviously wanting to pick up one of their biggest wins in program history. To go on the road at SMU and pick up a win would be monumental. For the Mustangs, they're a team with visions of long runs in the NCAA postseason, and so much of that is taking care of the games that you should take care of, at least according to how people feel about these two programs. And not winning at home here against UIW could cost you home postseason games or buys in the NCAA tournament. And I hate to look that far ahead, but that's what we're talking about here for the Mustangs. These are RPI hurters if you fall at home like this, as Flores back to the goal, wings it out to Jalen Mitchell. Mitchell pops it across in the direction of Escorcia, and an offside as Pinozo was behind the play. A whistle on the Mustangs.
Pinozo and Escorcia were pretty close, and I think Escorcia was still onside, but you're right, Pinozo snuck about 1 step beyond Escorcia. More than 1 step behind, maybe 2 or 3 steps behind, and he was guilty as charged. You mentioned the heightened intensity that we've seen in the first 7 minutes of the second half. I've got to believe that a large part of Kiki Lara's message to his team at halftime was SMU doesn't lose at home. SMU is a proud team with a national pedigree. They're going to come out flying in the second half, and we, the Cardinals, absolutely have to match the energy and the intensity that surely the Mustangs will bring. So far, they have.
They've been there at every turn, but Emile Brunet, nice one-on-one winner, but Escorcia couldn't hold it at midfield. See if UIW can start to connect some things in the midfield, keep some pressure off their defense with possession. Not this time. Great pass to Mitchell. Mitchell stops in the box with Emmanuel in front. Mitchell, his drive, knocked down. Emile Brunet is on it. Springing to the end line. Brunet shouldered off the ball, and a goal kick is on the way after the brilliant defensive hold from Roshane Baker.
beautiful through ball here to Jalen Mitchell, who splits a couple defenders and then hits the brakes to create tons of room, and probably took one too many touches trying to tee up the perfect shot. And by doing so, it allowed 4 black jerseys to converge upon him, thereby erasing any shooting lanes. And then Charles-Emile Brunet, on the business end of a stiff shoulder, ends up on the ground over the end line.
I think Roshane Baker's been excellent in this game. And then you were talking about Slade Starnes on the other side, as Flores will be called for his aggressiveness here. But the 2 center backs for these 2 teams are having really nice matches.
Yeah, we can talk about the goalkeepers giving up a combined 1 goal through 55 minutes. They will point to those guys standing right in front of them who have limited so many shot opportunities for the opposition. But you're right, Baker and Slade Starnes have been terrific tonight.
Oh, ball gets through to Segura on the ground. He did not get nearly all of it, rolling it into Soren Russell, who is ready to spring. Good job by Joe Henderson to hold it up and find Segura with space, but Paco misfires.
And you're right, Soren Russell popped up and he was looking upfield. He was trying to send an outlet pass to start a fast break here and didn't find an open teammate in space.
A ball to chase for Pinozo. Pinozo, a one-touch cross. Emmanuel's header, it's just wide. And De La Torre was able to stay away from touching that wide ball to create a goal kick.
Nice hustle here by Enzo Pinozo. You look at him, he's a big, strong guy, but he also might be the fastest player on the team. And Mukisa Emmanuel doing a nice job to knock that ball down, trying to bounce for the lower right corner, and De La Torre stretched out to make sure to erase any space by the right post.
Long way to go here in Dallas. Cardinals have played a brilliant 55 minutes, getting that goal in transition. And it's not as if SMU has not won the possession game, which is normally what you'd expect from the Mustangs. But the team defense has been excellent. As this ball for Emmanuel is just behind him, unable to hold it up between the center backs.
We talked right at the outset of the broadcast that Kiki Lara's philosophy at UIW is defense first, and the Cardinals have done a wonderful job defending so far against a Mustang team that honestly has some very talented offensive threats. And so far, the Cardinals are pitching a shutout. And to your point, then also Kevin Hudson's DNA is all about possession, and the Mustangs have done that. So far, the teams have done what their coaches pride themselves on, save for the one rush that led to a goal.
Now, SMU probably did not see UIW at their best last season when SMU in mid-September won by a 2-0 score. Incarnate Word got better and better as that season went on, and that is also what Kiki Lara is all about. He doesn't worry, he says, about regional rivalries. It's not about pride, it's about team and trying to peak at the right time, trying to peak in November. His team went unbeaten in the final 7 games of the regular season last year, really closing the year on a tear, but they're in great form here in Dallas.
When he was talking about his defense, Coach Lara said, you know, it's who we recruit, the guys who breathe it, who live it. We have a way of doing things that we've done for 17 years. And if you don't marry yourself to the process of every game, you're going to find yourself in the losing end of a lot of these games. And to your point, John, that's why our games don't get out of hand. They shouldn't. We will be playing our best soccer in mid-November. Neither
right now,
he nor Kevin Hudson really care about rankings and polls at this stage of the year. It's the end of the year when it matters.
Flores, a shot! And going headlong to dive for it to his left, Alejandro De La Torre extends that frame once more.
Nice pass by Escorcia, and he did just a little shoulder dip that drew a defender toward him, freeing up some space for Flores, who gave it a ride. But then De La Torre stretched that big frame out. swallowed it up. It looked like it was going right toward the right goal post. But considering those posts are round, if you're a goalkeeper, you don't want to rely on that thing.
UIW looking for a fast break opportunity. Landsberg won't let it happen. Turns it back up the field.
There have been about 4 or 5 inadvertent handballs tonight that have not been called.
If you're your coaching staff, you'd like to see consistency. Landsberg able to win the ball back after failing to bang it off of the Cardinal player in the corner. Jalen Mitchell, who has been a smaller factor tonight than he has in other matches this season, fails to win this one, and Avanish Kamath plays it in. Oh, Alex Salvo. An aggressive play to take it away and try to start something. Salvo goes out wide to Muki. Emmanuel has Escorcia joining on a run as well. Defended well, played back for Mitchell. Now Flores coming into the play. And once more, good job by UIW to defend at that last moment and prevent SMU from a quality opportunity.
And again, we've talked about UIW's defense all night. We saw that long outlet pass from Salvo to Mukisa Emmanuel with Escorcia screaming down the right sideline, and those were the two we were looking at. But there were 4 black jerseys between them in front of De La Torre. It was an opportunity that looked promising, but the numbers didn't stack up in SMU's favor there.
The rhythm of this game has been opportunity, opportunity, disappointment. Can SMU find the goal? Here comes Pinozo, knocked down from behind. Did not get all of it, he thought, because of the contact from his rear. And he gets up barking at Mark Buda.
And so did his teammates, and so does his head coach, Kevin Hudson, none too thrilled.
That is Paco Segura. Says no. Did not happen in the 6th-year graduate. Well, he was right in this case.
You don't generally see a player fall the way Pinozo did if he didn't have a little help. From our angle, we couldn't really see the contact if it was there, but boy, all of the Mustangs, both on the field and on the bench, certainly reacted as if it was clear from the field level.
Long way to go in Dallas. The more the minutes are eaten up here at Washburn Stadium, the more the Cardinals feel like the superior team tonight. Danny Escorcia is able to pirouette, keep that anchor on the ground, his right hand to keep it alive, but it's plucked by Arush Kamath.
Almost a magical job there by Escorcia to, as you said, keep his feet as well as keeping possession. And a little frustrating as the ball gets given away.
SMU coming in off a 3-game winning streak. Started with a 3-1 victory over LMU, followed that up with a 2-1 win against Oral Roberts. By the way, the LMU victory, a come from behind variety. And then a 1-0 win at GCU in Phoenix. SMU has a chance in the attacking third as Emile Brunet is cut off by 2 defenders. Brings it down to the bottom of your screen, Enzo Pinozo. Now Brunet feigns to the inside, tries to move back outside, pulled down with no call, and now there is one. After Buda looked at it for a moment, he decided that the 2-hand pull by Manny Martinez was too much to ignore.
And Brunet ended up sort of throwing himself in front of the opponent, probably out of some measure of frustration, because he was really almost sort of tackled from behind. And at his size, when he gets hit, he's going to lose a lot of those collisions. And again, we saw a lot of frustration from the Mustangs as they watched their transfer midfielder get bounced to the ground before finally they got the whistle they were looking for.
The substitution moment, a 3-for-3 for UIW. The clock also stopped at 27:55. We'll reset to reflect that as Charles-Emile Brunet attacks the free kick, and on the back post, a glancing blow by Pinozo and the defenders, but De La Torre is able to bring in the lilting ball.
I think you're right that it was Pinozo and the defenders simply because of the way the ball sort of floated straight up after coming down off of that restart by Brunet. So nice awareness by De La Torre to realize that might be called as going off my teammate, so I better go grab it out of the air, and he did.
So 3 players came in for UIW. You saw them. One of them here is Bryce Tober, who had the opening goal. Another great stick in for Alex Salvo to win a ball. Another was Diego Robles. Robles, a creative player in the middle. And also up front, Evan Kranzel, the freshman who had a good first half, and will take some set pieces. 27 minutes left in regulation in the second half of this match. Incarnate Word fending off SMU's 14 shots. Their 5 shots on goal as Pinozo marches in. Escorcia is ready for it. Through ball to Pinozo. Stays on the attack. Toe poke with the left foot. And it is going to be a goal kick. And again, Enzo Pinozo believes that he was fouled heading into the box.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's a foul or, he thinks he played it off the defender, and I agree with him 1,000%. That ball banged off of the shin of Arush Kamath, and you see the disbelief on Enzo Pinozo's face, and I've got to agree with him.
The only reason I thought he might be thinking foul was he said that's 2, and so maybe earlier when he was upset, he thought it was a ball that should have been SMU's rather than a call in the box. But it shows you that the Mustangs grow increasingly frustrated as the night wears on. How do you keep that frustration from producing a lack of focus rather than being a motivator?
Well, I mean, every guy out there in a red jersey would love to score the equalizing goal right this minute, but they've got to realize there's still 25 minutes left, and that the vast majority of scoring chances are built from the middle third into the offensive third, not just one person making a heroic run through an entire defense. So they've got to stay within the system. They've got to keep stretching the Cardinals out laterally if they can by switching fields back and forth. And they've got to have some patience. And look, when you're trailing, it gets harder and harder to remain patient with every second that ticks off that clock.
Pinozo calling for a fresh spear, and that drive is kept in by De La Torre, as it looked as though, again, a shot, the third of the night by Owen Zarnik, ended up banging off a couple UIW players and could have been headed for a corner. De La Torre's sheet is clean. He's looking for his 4th shutout of the season after he and his mates picked up 5 shutouts last year.
Nice little wrestling match between Shigede and Enzo Pinozo. Looked like 2 power forwards jockeying for space in the low post.
Quick restart for Arush Kamath. Again, Salvo trying to come up with a winner, and a foul on SMU here. Right there in the attacking third, and a chance at a restart for UIW. There are areas of this game where certainly SMU has been the better team than UIW in possession and chances. However, this Cardinal bunch, it may lack style points at the end of the night, but they are built for the fight, I think. and that is evident whether or not they come out with the win in this game or not. It is a UIW team that certainly is capable of finishing this off.
Yeah, they're following the blueprint perfectly. Defend, 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 get a counterattack goal if you can, and then if you get a lead, just defend your face-off for the rest of the last 23 minutes. I mean, they're not going to stop playing. They're not going to stop trying to score.
Landsberg into the box, tripped up, and again, it is fended up the field. That shows you how determined SMU is with one of the center backs going after that ball, running all the way into the box.
But you mentioned a moment ago the frustration that could set in. Right now, the Cardinals are playing 10 deep and then send an offensive ball up.
All they may need is Robles, though. Robles trying to go for goal, and he is calling for a tip. He's not going to get the call, however.
And he's right as well, just like Enzo Pinozo was on the other end. That is 2 missed potential corners. Each team has been shorted a corner in the last couple of minutes.
Geometry would tell you it'd be tough for that ball to do that if it did not go off of Owen Zarnik.
Right, we could see it change direction. I mean, he might hit a great knuckleball, but that thing really changed direction.
No cautions yet in this match, and Manny Martinez.
Maybe I'll get one for
the questioning
the calls.
22 minutes left. It's been an entertaining game with only 1 goal scored. Here's a run. Flores makes his way in. Plays to Pinozo. Pinozo with a nice dummy crossover. Tries to go after goal, and De La Torre is there yet again, short side right at the top of the upper 90.
How about the effort here by Enzo Pinozo? I mean, a year ago, his role was to come in and chase people around and close out the final minutes of games when SMU was leading. Now he crosses up a defender twice and drills a shot that I think might have gotten in that upper right corner if not for De La Torre being over there to snatch it out of the sky. Beautiful, beautiful effort by Pinozo.
Maybe the part of De La Torre's game I love the most is the ability to hang on to balls and not give up rebounds. Robles on the end line, bounces it in. Soren Russell looking to start something, but ball security as a keeper, again, stating the obvious, so big, and those enormous mitts for Alejandro De La Torre. Everything is sticking to them tonight.
Yeah, we've talked all night about how big he is, and he's also got very, very strong hands. As you said, if he gets his mitts on it, you're not getting it back. He just doesn't give up rebounds.
14th minute goal by Bryce Tober. That's the difference. He opened his account, opened up the UIW lead on SMU, trying to beat the Mustangs for the first time in team history. Mitchell has it on the edge, 20 minutes to go. Mitchell crosses it in, solid header out, but Brunet is there, plays it onto his left foot and sails it. As UIW will come with a substitution, Noe Robles ready to come back in.
Robles gave him some good minutes in the first half. And as we get inside 20 minutes remaining, he's the kind of guy who can really help the Cardinals keep some possession in transition and as they try to see this one out.
Robles for Manny Martinez in the center midfield. A goal for Robles this season after a 9-goal, 5-assist season for the JUCO runner-up in Division I, Tyler Junior College, in his sophomore year last year. Here's a Scorsia, a pirouette. Back for the playmaker, Escorcia. Now Brunet. Pinozo. For Salva, who digs deeper. And here comes Starnes to move it along. Mitchell marching in. Mitchell looking to serve. No, instead onto his left foot. Mitchell in front. Again played away. And that second effort defense for UIW has been on point tonight. Those clutch plays that continue to take place inside the box and turn away SMU chances. As Robles looks for a call. Some contact there certainly from Starnes, but not enough for a whistle as Milton Lopez, SMU's leading scorer with 3 goals and an assist, comes in for Luis Flores. Flores' night is done. Alex Salvo, his evening is through after he starts the second half, and Landon Hickam, freshman, will eat up the rest of the minutes in the defensive midfield.
It feels like in the second half, the Mustangs have found something in the UIW defense where Jalen Mitchell on the left and Enzo Pinozo on the right have been able to get down toward the end line and get crosses into the middle. And sometimes there's just been some bad luck as it deflects off of a player on either team, but they're just not quite finding their targets. But they are now getting some chances that weren't there as readily in the first half. And they've got 17 minutes to see if they can turn one of those into an equalizer.
Escorcia trying to play a through ball to Emmanuel. Escorcia still after it. So is Brunet, and eventually a foul called against UIW and a card issued for the first time tonight. And it will be shown in the face of Trust Chigede, picking up his first yellow of the season, although he did pick up a red earlier this year and, of course, missed a game.
I don't think that was gamesmanship on his part so much as he turned around and the ball was moving, and I think he was scrambling thinking it was already in play, as if SMU had taken a very quick restart. And he sort of looked at the official as if to say, what did I do? What did I do? And I think it was pretty genuine in this case.
Another set-piece opportunity for SMU, but the Cardinals have been flawless against these offensive opportunities. Emile Brunet, the Central Arkansas transfer, over the top. Header back the other way. Mitchell, defended by 2, plays it across, and a solid header away by Kamath. But only a half clearance. CEB exchanging with Escorcia. Right back to Emile Brunet. Tries to win one into the 18 with his left foot, but it got deflected.
Hard to tell from here whether he was shooting or trying to tuck one down to Enzo Pinozo on a diagonal run. Mustangs throwing a lot more chances into the box now, and they, again, the Cardinals doing a nice job. Here's a big
counter by Diego Robles, leaves one man behind, and this chance will be thwarted by a foul on Milton Lopez and a yellow card as well. Lopez picks up his first caution of the season with 16:01 left in regulation.
You see a little frustration on Lopez's face. And he knew it right away. I mean, the way that Robles hit the brakes, Lopez just sails right past him. And honestly, I don't know that that's a yellow card that you hate if you're the SMU coaches, because if he doesn't take Robles down, this is a one-on-one with Robles driving straight toward the goal.
Known as an offensive player with his 3 goals. Trying to defend there against Diego Robles, such a talented player with such sharp timing. And the technical finisher, putting Milton Lopez in the spin cycle. Noe Robles will try the free kick. Robles, great save by Soren Russell, keeping it 1-0.
That was a beautiful shot and absolutely earmarked for that right post. Soren Russell, that might be his best save of the year. Stretched that 6'4" frame out, got all the way across the mouth of the goal, and he was lined up sort of shading to the left. Beautiful save by Soren Russell.
Owen Zarnik continues to force the issue. Now here's Escorcia moving his way into the corner. Escorcia into the box. Heavy first touch. Zarnik not able to hold it though, and Diego Robles sends it in the direction of Noe Robles. A little too strong. And here's Mitchell again, stepping in, trying to thread the needle. Mitchell trying to win one, but it is kicked into the air by Roshane Baker and out of harm's way.
And obviously scoring in any game is exceedingly difficult. There's a reason soccer games are always so low scoring, but when you're playing a team that is trying to nurse a 1-goal lead and has 15 minutes to protect, you face a team that does exactly what the Cardinals are doing right now, which is sitting back in a deep, very compact defensive structure. There just isn't any space for easy passing lanes through the box. And you can fire the ball into the box time after time after time, and there are just a lot of black jerseys around. They don't really care whether it goes upfield or ends up in the third row of the seats. They're just knocking it out of harm's way.
Hickern commits the foul with 14 minutes left. UIW Cardinals have a player down on the far side of the field. Good crowd assembled on a Monday night.
Looks like it might be a calf cramp over there.
Good to see it's nothing more serious on this night that's in the high 70s. Foul on Hickam. Does seem to be a calf issue. And it is Avanish Kamath, the 20-year-old out of Mumbai, India, starting his 6th straight match at the beginning of his career after transferring in from LSU Eunice, where he was an NJCAA first-team academic All-American along with his twin brother Arush last year.
I think both of them have played really well tonight. They've done a nice job. They've had their hands full with Pinozo and Jalen Mitchell flying up and down the flanks, and those two have stood their ground quite well.
Chance for a little rest on both sides, thanks to the injury stoppage.
Kamath trying to stay in the game, but being told that because the trainer came out, he has to come out at least for a moment.
As you see, Sela DePoco is ready. Thought he was ready to sub, but he's going to put his penny back on. Of course, what you have to think about for UIW, you know, why don't you just make a move now? If you're going to make a move, you don't have unlimited subs anymore. You've got 6 moments to make a substitution, so you have to be strategic.
Right.
And I think UIW is trying to avoid a substitution moment here, as they had Lara obviously there at midfield, but then pulled him back.
Kamath waiting to be waved back in.
Looks like the Mustangs are going to make an interesting substitution at the next opportunity to get much more offensive. A sub that we haven't seen the likes of probably in a couple of years, as they're going to bring in Ryan Clanton Pimentel, we're told, for Owen Zarnik.
Well, we're at the point with 13 and a half to go, and the Mustangs looking up at a 1-goal deficit. You take that big senior defender off the field, sure, you loosen up the defense, but you've got to get numbers forward. And as we discussed, the Cardinals are sitting so deep in this defensive structure that you've got to have as many people able to pull the trigger as possible available on that offensive end.
And you saw that Jalen Mitchell, at least on that trip up the field, went to the deep right wing position. He's a little bit better off that right side. Pinozo using this as a set piece and a throw-in opportunity. And finally, Mark Buda has had enough. He's ready to play. The throw in the air. Second ball and third, won by UIW. But Pinozo gets stuck in. Who's it off of? It's off of Pinozo. Good winner for the Cardinals off the throw-in. And it's Bryce Tober who gets the job done. The man who had first score of his career off a juicy rebound in the 14th minute of this match. It's tough to win college soccer games. It's a grind. UIW trying to grind one home.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about in the pregame show, right? It's tough to win a game. It's very tough to win on the road. And the Cardinals are under 12 minutes away from pulling off one of the biggest wins in the program's history.
SMU does make that sub, bringing Clanton Pimentel in. Serves it across, settled down by Lopez, and he tries the bicycle, and then Mukisa Emmanuel is held up. And SMU looking for a call. No call comes either way. It was a play on, and now things are stopped as Alejandro De La Torre is down and writhing. Both sides demanding justice in this moment. And we'll see if VAR will show anything, perhaps. What was your thought initially?
Well, the Mustangs obviously demanding a PK here. You see the cross from Clanton Pimentel. It gets settled. The bike attempt bounces off of De La Torre, one of the few rebounds he's given up tonight. And then he just submarines Mukisa Emmanuel. And of course, from the Cardinals' standpoint, they're arguing that Mukisa Emmanuel ran over their goalie while he was trying to pounce on that ball.
And De La Torre took one in the face, and obviously he's not feeling great.
So he's working on his jaw here.
This moment will be reviewed.
I think both teams have a pretty legit argument or a pretty legit reason for complaint. As we see Michael King, the assistant coach for the Mustangs, was chatting with one of the officials. And that might be one of those cases where an assistant coach is serving as a spokesman for his boss, but
you gotta hope Alejandro De La Torre has nothing wrong with him other than some bruising to the head after this contact with Emmanuel running full force.
I don't think you can call this on Emmanuel because he did get to the ball before he got to De La Torre. And at that point, he's just trying to toe poke it into the goal. And nice actually to see Emmanuel and De La Torre checking up on each other now.
You're absolutely right that he reached the ball first, and that
should erase the chance of
there being a foul on SMU.
Right. So I think if anything, this replay is whether De La Torre took out Emmanuel. Here you see the short hop off the hands and chest of De La Torre, and Emmanuel absolutely got there first. And then look, De La Torre did what he had to do, because if he doesn't take out Emmanuel, Emmanuel hops over him and taps in a slam dunk equalizer.
So after all this, we will see how this goes down. Kevin Hudson always says, if the official talks to us first, it's probably in our favor. Kiki Lara with very little reaction, and here's the call.
Yeah, but if you
a penalty.
If you saw the reaction of the assistant coach standing right behind Kiki Lara, you could see the real reaction as Marcus Muse, who by the way is a Dallas resident, was obviously in a measure of disbelief.
ACCMen'sSoccer with the ball in the crook of his arm. He is 12th in the NCAA in shooting percentage, but this is his first opportunity from the spot for SMU against a 6'4" keeper who will try to use every bit of his 193 centimeters at his disposal to keep Emmanuel from the equalizer. Mookie, and SMU ties it up with 11:20 to play.
You don't often get a feel that you see a little stutter step by Emmanuel, and by that sort of arcing approach he took to the ball, he baited De La Torre into jumping to the wrong side and tucks it in the upper left corner. And all of a sudden, a game that felt like it was going to go the way of the Cardinals, and it still could. We're all equal with 11 minutes, 20 seconds left to try to sort this one out and get a victory.
De La Torre was beaten by Bailey Sparks on a penalty last season to put it away for the Mustangs in a 2-0 victory. The rest of the year, he stopped 2 of the 3 opportunities. And now SMU has scored in 40 straight matches at home. But you're right, it's anybody's game, and it's not just that SMU could possibly win it. So could this UIW squad that has been so feisty and opportunistic tonight.
And remember, Owen Zarnick is no longer on the back line for the Mustangs. So now Enzo Pinozzo, who's certainly a very capable defender, he's going to be sitting a little deeper, and he has spent the majority of the night getting forward on offensive runs from his wingback spot. He's going to have to assume a little bit more defensive responsibility, and if he's got it in him, still make those runs forward.
That move to put the ball in Clinton Pimentel's feet over the top, and De La Torre
and
creates a little
ACCMen'sSoccer
paint with ACCMen'sSoccer, and obviously Big Ale is not happy about it.
Kiki Lara not very happy with that as well. He just saw his team give up the equalizer on a penalty kick, and then the same player who collided with his keeper a moment ago almost ran into him again.
Really nice job to come from behind by Chigide to intercept. Ball forward. Slade Starnes is there. Noe Robles not able to complete. SMU trying to get Kamath to play into a mistake. And SMU's pressure from their forwards and attacking mids this season has been a big part of their offense. And the Mustangs are not happy with the tie. They are looking for the win tonight.
We talk all the time about how both teams respond after any goal, and it feels in the first minute here like the Mustangs have a little more juice in their step after getting the equalizer from ACCMen'sSoccer.
Pinozzo on the switch. Escorcia off to Mitchell in the corner. One touch cross, header in the air. Won once, twice, 3 times by UIW. Clutch wins in the box when they had to have it.
That service, of course, from Jalen Mitchell, who's played the entire game on the left. But with Clinton Pimentel in the lineup, Mitchell switched over to the right, and that leaves Clinton Pimentel on the far side, not the biggest target to try to find at a back post.
Mitchell throwing on the brakes. Mitchell inside. Hickam joining this time. Cleared away by Chigide. But SMU able to keep it deep with 8.5 to play. Pinozzo was waiting for it. Hickam intercepted it. But Hickam pinching down, pressuring in, eyes on Emmanuel, not fully cleared. And the Mustangs throwing numbers forward to try to put themselves in front on a frustrating night against a rival from the Alamo City. Here's Pinozo. Missed on that left-footed drive. That is not where he meant to hit it.
He was trying to shoot, and that not only didn't go over the end line, it went over the touch line about 20 yards upfield. Kind of looks like one of my tee shots.
But SMU will use the opportunity to try to pressure. 20-9, the shot advantage for SMU. De La Torre has made 7 saves, and SMU's Soren Russell has made 4 tonight. The 14th minute goal by Bryce Tober to open up the scoring, and then SMU got the penalty from ACCMen'sSoccer. Stopping and starting. Here's Mitchell again. Mitchell flicking it to himself. Mitchell tugged on. Mitchell throws it toward the goal, and here comes a corner headed away in the 1v1 opportunity between Baker and Emmanuel.
Nice start and stop by Mitchell, and nice job keeping his balance as he was getting tugged on to get that cross into the middle. And you mentioned the 20-9 shot advantage. Keep in mind, in the first half, we talked about UIW having a 5-1 edge in the shots in the early going. So since then, 19-4 in favor of the Mustangs on shots.
Had a foul on SMU in the boxed region. And the clock ticks. 6:10 to play. Alejandro De La Torre, his 4th clean sheet will have to wait. As Kevin Hudson's team has found a way to manufacture a goal, an equalizer tonight. Now can he and the Cardinals fend off a complete takeover and a possible win for the Mustangs? Pressure on Soren Russell, so he skies it. Good ball, great weight on it. Clinton Pimentel is going to get another chance at it. He was the last to touch it, I believe. Let's see, no, a throw in for SMU and a stoppage because of a calf cramp, I should say. In the 18, give everyone a chance to take a breather with 5 and change left.
Obviously,
Buda's been active tonight.
You don't want to be defending for the last 5.5 minutes with somebody who's not at full strength, but at the same time, you also don't want to be bringing in someone who's been watching for the first 85 minutes. So hopefully for the Cardinals, this is only a momentary interruption, as that is Avanish Kamath again. And that is the same right calf that was being looked at a few moments ago.
Unless he had a calf transplant, and it's a secondary right calf. But you're exactly right. I think what you said at first is correct. It's the same right calf.
He's going to have to head to the sideline again, at least briefly. Looks like maybe they will be bringing in some fresh legs here.
Silo DePoco, who will head into the match. DePoco, of any player on the roster, has more Division I goals than anybody on this roster. 14 in a UIW uniform for the South African. Gifted from both long range and short range, but here called on to play an outside back position, a wing back spot. Pinozo on the throw-in as we restart in Dallas. Knotted at 1. Header out. Who's it off of? And it is going to be a corner for SMU. He was in the direction of Starnes, but he had 2 Cardinals on his back.
And he has been brilliant in the air tonight. I mean, it helps to start. It helps being 6'3", but he leaps very well, he times it well, and he's been fantastic on it up in the air.
Emile Brunet curling it in. Roshane Baker is there to head it back. Clanton Pimentel pops it back in. Look at the way the Cardinals work it back out. Big collision and a dangerous play at that between Diego Robles and SMU, and it will be a yellow on Biladz Landsberg, who picks up his first of the season in about 535 minutes of action, and that is an obvious caution.
Yeah, absolutely the right call. He knew he wasn't going to get to the ball, but he also knew that he could not afford to let Robles get around him with nobody behind him. So, again, you don't like to ever give up yellow cards, and nice to see them check on each other.
Robles understands. Dangerous ball. Remember, SMU playing with a little bit of a different back three right now. Mitchell to Emmanuel. Back to Emile Brunet. 4:29 left. Finds Clanton Pimentel in wide space with a one-touch. Escorcia settles it down. Escorcia, Danny, denied! De La Torre is there.
Beautiful shot by Escorcia, not only to rip the shot, but to be able to catch that ball as it's coming over the top of him. You see the flick to the long serve to Clanton Pimentel, who flicks it forward. And Escorcia, it looked like he almost catches the ball with his foot here, changes direction, rips a shot, and De La Torre, maybe his biggest save of the night.
SMU with the season high 21 shots in the come from behind effort to get the equalizer. Jalen Mitchell climbs a ladder and topples it as he knocks Trust Chigueta off his pins. 3.5 to play. Here's a restart and a chance out front. Robles on his right foot. Robles delivers the strike from the top of the 18, beating Soren Russell and possibly the Mustangs.
Spectacular shot by Robles, who gets this ball just outside the top of the arc and absolutely crushes a shot. You see the flick, gets to Robles, one touch to get around Brunet, and just drills it lower left corner. Soren Russell's going to beat himself up over this, but that was a perfect shot. I don't know how many goalkeepers in the country could have pulled that one back.
Their call has been do it for Marquise Muse, the assistant coach at UIW. He grew up just 10 minutes south of here, Kimball High School in Dallas. He gets the big embrace along the sideline after the SMU goal, or after the UIW goal, I should say. Is it possible it's what sinks the Mustangs tonight? Or does SMU have another equalizer in the bag? Clanton Pimentel thinks so. Clanton Pimentel plays it in front of deflected ball. De La Torre has eliminated everything in play except for that penalty tonight.
And if we thought that De La Torre was milking seconds in the first half, we're going to see more of what he just did, which is gets his hands on the ball. And as you said, he doesn't give up rebounds anyway, but he will flop down and secure the ball until the traffic clears as this clock ticks down toward 2.5 minutes.
Diego Robles has been an attacking player, tried to take it to the corner. Landsberg denies that advance. 2.5 to play. Here comes Clanton Pimentel. So UIW with the late goal, 87th minute. Noe Robles with his second of his career. Player from just about 2 hours to the east. Went to Tyler Legacy High School, Tyler Junior College. Used to wonder strikes at that level, and now starting to make a name for himself in San Antonio as well. 2 minutes left. Escorcia serves it. Kick him off to Clanton Pimentel. Clinton Pimentel thought about the left-footed cross. Instead, the right-footed flick, and the flick on. And it is just wide in a corner. Rather a goal kick, I should say.
You know, all the Mustangs were lobbying for a corner.
Yeah, it looked like it was off the head.
But Mark Buda didn't agree.
Of Milton Lopez, and that is all. And it gives Alejandro de la Torre a chance to march off some time. Pretty much gives SMU one or two more shots in this one if they can possess. Good touch by Pinozo out to Clinton Pimentel. Direction of Emmanuel. Roshane Baker says absolutely not. Roshane Baker, big part of this back line. The senior from Kingston, Jamaica. Stepped in at center back the last 2 seasons and has been enormous. 40 seconds left as the Cardinals look to knock off SMU for the first time in team history. It's something Texas teams rarely do. In the direction of Mitchell. Knocked over the sideline with 26 seconds left. Quick one in. 20 seconds. Serve across. Clinton Pimentel races after it with 15. SMU needing a miracle. Clinton Pimentel in. Roshane Baker there. 10 seconds. Hickam misfires. 5 seconds. Hickam has to let it go. That will do it. UIW has come into Dallas. And Kiki Lara's team comes up with one of the biggest wins in his alma mater's history. He's the maestro as the Cardinals take down the Mustangs at one of the toughest places to play in the country, Washburn Stadium. Final score, 2-1.
Kiki Lara is